All right. Now I'm on the stage. How are y'all doing? Hey, we got y'all. Give me a second. I'm gonna put some music on for a second. I dumped when my music was playing. I dumped water on myself. Don't ask how. But I'm gonna turn some music on for a second while I get some paper towels to dry off. Be right back. I'm not getting any food, so you all get this. Going back to where you came from. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to. I picked up my cup and I didn't know water was in it, and I dumped it on myself. So, how are you doing? Let me see. Zen Soul is on the Moonwalk Hall of Fame because she was the first one in the chat. And then we have Linda Gibbs, who is also on the Moonwalk of Fame because she was the second one in the chat. Now, got that straight. Now I gotta catch my breath. Because guess what? I went to go get the paper towels and there was no paper towels. So I had to go and get paper towels out the closet and then dry myself off. But anyway, that's all about that. Let me see who else we got in here up in this chat. We have worldwide collaborations. How are you doing? Salty Buzzard, how are you doing? Is complicated. Hey, let's talk about it all. How are you doing? I am doing fine, trying to catch my breath. So I had planned on coming live because I usually come on. Ooh, stop moving. I usually come live on Thursdays, but I had, my whole thing planned as to what I was going to do. And then I'm messing around, getting ready to download my things. And I see that one of the judges I sometimes watch had one of Diddy's victims who is there incarcerated in Michigan. He was in court today trying to get a restraining order, trying to prevent Puffy from selling things so that when he sues him civilly for his assault, he, the money will be there and he won't be out of money. And I think he said Diddy came to see him and told him, he was going to sell stuff and whatnot. But yes, Salty Buzzard, that's the judge. So I am going to, without further ado, I'm going to just get into it. We're going to get into that right now. And then we're going to switch gears and do a romance scammer. Then we're going to switch gears again and talk about Wade Wilson. So without further ado, let me go ahead, share my screen so we can just get into it. That's not what we're listening to. I don't know why. Boy, I tell you, I do this every time. Go to my downloads. I do this every single time. I want to go to my downloads. Why are you not there? So anyway, how is everybody doing? And is everybody safe from Debbie? Because Debbie is out here acting up. She has been making it rain where I'm at. Like, I think it's been raining since last week, and it's either real cloudy outside or something like that. So anyway, that's what's going on with Debbie and where I am at. And we are going to go ahead and get into this Zoom court meeting. I want to make sure that the sound is okay, but I'm getting responses and stuff in the chat, so I'm going to assume that it is. Here we go. And I'm not going to interrupt much because it's not hard to hear, but the man just has such a good
Derek
flow.
Lee Cardello Smith, sir?
Ooh, ooh.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, thank you. This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cardello Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records.
I know I said I wasn't going to interrupt much, but this woman read like all kinds of Diddy names that I wasn't even aware of.
Label owner, founder, also known as Puff P Daddy, Bad Boy, Diddy Run the City, Sean Combs, also known as Sean Puffy Combs. And this is file number 24-7362NO. I'll grab your paperwork here real quick out of this other paperwork. We do have Mr. Cardello Smith appearing from the Michigan Department of Corrections. Sir, where are you currently located?
I'm located at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility, 2500 South Sheridan Drive, Muskegon, Michigan, 49444, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Or Your Honor.
Thank you. So I do see that we do have a proof of service on Mr. Combs, but for purposes of this hearing, you filed a motion for a temporary restraining order and or a preliminary injunction to stop all sales of the property and assets attached to or involved with said property based on the interest of plaintiff and plaintiff's connections to defendant's sexual assault of plaintiff Derek Lee Cardello Smith, requiring a preliminary injunction and or a temporary restraining order. We did set that for hearing today, and luckily the Brooks Correctional Facility was able to make you available. Actually, they had to drive someone up today on another case. So, sir, I have received your motion and a proposed order. Do you wish to argue the motion today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed then.
Okay, the purpose of it is.
I also heard that this man is, he sues a lot of people in the industry and stuff and apparently wins. He's also representing himself in all of the things that is going on here right now, as well as I believe in civil court. How could I lose that word in my head, civil? But yeah, I think he's also representing himself in the civil court case as well.
Based on two actions taken by Mr. Combs himself, directly with me here. We did a live one-on-one visit in our prison visiting room. There's two meetings within the past 2 weeks with Mr. Combs on one meeting, and then a financial advisor on the other meeting on Mr. Combs' behalf. And he stated that he would make me an offer to end the case and what happened to me because of other things that he stated he has going on in his life that require his money right now, and he wants to sell everything off. And he made me a financial offer of $2.3 million to allow what happened to me to go away. And he stated that he's going to be selling his property, and under the 2005 California Civil Code 2881-2885, the creation of liens, which allows out-of-state justices and orders to cause a stop of any title transfer, property transfers in Los Angeles or any other place that he has property. He stated that he wouldn't be able to proceed with that sale. And he did it the day after I served him the suit. And he also said that he won't be filing an answer to the complaint. He said, you can find me in default or whatever. He has a better chance with default than he would with having a restraining order stopped.
Now, what I wonder about Diddy, if he's innocent and he is another one who didn't do anything that any of the people says that he did, why is he always settling? So here we have someone else that he offered to settle with. Oh.
This video contains 2 jail calls made by Wade Wilson.
Sorry about
This
that.
video contains
Derek Lee Cardello Smith.
Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility, 25.
Drop it, Smokey.
Motion and a proposed order. Do you wish to argue the motion today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed then.
Okay, the purpose of it is,
Get that from me.
and he made me a financial offer of $2.3 million to allow what happened to me to go away. And he stated that he's going to be selling his property, and under the 2005 California Civil Code 2881-2885, the creation of liens, which allows out-of-state justices and orders to cause a stop of any title transfer, property transfers in Los Angeles or any other place that he has property. He stated that he wouldn't be able to proceed with that sale. And he did it the day after I served him the suit. And he also said that he won't be filing an answer to the complaint. He said, you can find me in default or whatever. He has a better chance with default than he would with having a restraining order stop. And I said, so you want to hide your money and stop from being quite possibly paid to me if I'm given the benefit of a judgment in my favor for what you've done to me. And he pretty much said, yeah. He says, you know how we get down. And I said, okay, well, I disagree with how you get down. Your sale shouldn't go through.
So I'm gonna hold on.
I'm sorry.
Cardello Smith. Okay, so you went in a different direction than I thought you were going into. I thought we were just gonna focus. No.
We are.
You kind of went off on a different direction than what your actual motion was.
Yeah.
So what I just want to say is settlement negotiations.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
In this case, are probably better not. Yeah, they're not to be placed on the record today. Okay.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. You're not an attorney. I understand that. So if we can just backtrack and focus just on your motion.
I get what you want.
Okay, thank you.
If he's allowed to sell his property that he has in LA and the properties that are in his name being used and held by other people in Michigan, then it will cause me harm because I can be tied directly to those properties through loans and through other areas of investment that I did when I was out there and while in prison through money that I've sent. And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid his responsibility in these matters here.
Zenso, I don't know why he is in jail, but I am going to look him up. I had started Googling a little bit on him because I wanted to find out more about this. I just didn't know about him. So if I find something and it's interesting information, I plan on doing a video about that.
That's what a temporary restraining order would do. It would prevent that from happening. Because it's a very serious matter. It involves a lot of money. And him selling this would help him avoid his liability for these actions done upon me. And I was just hoping that I'd be able to get the restraining order to prevent that. There won't be any harm to him, any of the parties. There won't be any harm to him in any way. And if it's deemed that it's not justified, then he can go ahead and go through with the sale at the end of the case. But one has to be put in place to stop this from happening.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm just looking back through your complaint.
Yes.
And you're right, Zen Soul. He is very, very respectful. And he seems intelligent as well.
All right, I'm gonna check one more of your filings. So I'm gonna step off the bench for 2 seconds and I'll be right back, all right?
Yes, Judge Anzalone.
Thank you.
Couldn't wear one. They don't give us ties.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Right. Yeah, there is.
But they clip-ons, you know.
Yeah. Clip-ons are the best, aren't they?
You don't know hanging out with Diddy.
See this motion.
Just thank you for giving me the hearing and thank you for setting a pretrial.
Worldwide collaborations, I have no idea because I didn't know about this guy.
All right, so thank you, sir. Is there anything else you wish to add?
I was just, first off, just thank you for giving me the hearing and thank you for setting a pretrial on this matter. Thank you, Your Honor. There were
You're
some
welcome.
other filings. There were some other filings that you should have gotten. I didn't know if that's one of the filings you could have been referring to.
So I received your complaint and all the attachments to it. And then I received this motion. And I just wanted to take a moment to review back.
Y'all know what? Ernesto might do better off trying to get this man to represent him.
Back through the U.S. District Civil Docket and your complaint. So I did do that. That's all. And
Yes.
okay. Anything else?
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in. Every bit of it, every facet.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a proof of service showing that Mr. Combs was served on July 6th of 2000 and, let me see, is that 24?
Yes, Your
Yep.
Honor.
Looks like it. 2024 return receipt requested was provided. So there is proper service. Mr. Combs has neither appeared nor responded to this request. So I'm going to grant your motion for a preliminary injunction, temporary restraining order, and order that the defendant and their agents are hereby enjoined temporarily for a period of 90.
Just let that sink in. This man has won an injunction. This man who is incarcerated, who wrote his own briefs, has won an injunction against, well, I'm sure Diddy's not a billionaire anymore, but this is just interesting.
90 days on the sale, transfer, or exchange, trade, or transaction of title or deed to the property listed as the address and placed on the market by defendants for the amount of $70 million. And this property and estate belonging to or connected to defendant Sean Combs shall cease and desist any and all trades, transactions, or otherwise stop the process of any further actions on this property being continued. And this shall have an immediate effect. I'm going to date this August 7th of 2024. And I am going to sign this. And we are set for a pretrial date on Monday, September 9th of 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Is there
Your Honor?
anything else? Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Your Honor. First off, thank you very much, ma'am. The second thing is, under the summons rules and the court rules of service, Mr. Combs, the defendant, had 28 days after he was served by mail, 21 if it's regular process service. His 28th day was the August 3rd, and there was no answer on the default. And I understand that I have to motion verbally or in writing, whichever one you prefer, however you prefer, to have default judgment entered. And today is literally the 28, 9, 30, 31, 32nd day, I believe. And I'd like to either preserve the issue of default judgment or judgment in my favor based on failure to answer.
Okay.
Whichever Your Honor would like.
All right, thank you. Typically, we require that. Ms. McGrain. Is
How
Ms.
would you spell
McGrain
her
in
name?
You know, I think this man is so nice and respectful and knowledgeable. I think he's kind of throwing her for a loop, because she's usually not this. I mean, I'm not saying she's doing anything wrong or anything, but she's usually a little bit more, type of judge.
Oh, no, I'm
By the way, I saw you, Leo lady. How are you doing?
the motion for the affidavit and motion for default be filed. So Miss Adams, is Miss McGrain in her office?
She is not. I'm going to go find her right now, Judge.
Okay.
I know,
Hold
I
on.
read that rule. I read the rule, Your Honor. MCR 2.603 governs that. And it said the party can do it in front of the trial court judge or
Yeah.
by mail. Whatever you want.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me get that. Usually we require it. Can you hear her, Mr. Sala? Miss McGrain marching down the hallway. She sounds like a herd of cats. All right. Okay. So, sir, the court rule that you're referring to, it's not a trial date, so I think I'm right. So you're going to have to file the affidavit and request for default, okay?
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
And obviously you'll be able to file that before a pretrial date anyway, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so
All
the
right,
order
so-
was granted?
The order, your ex parte motion was granted, or your motion for a temporary restraining order was granted. I've signed it. And so we'll get that processed and back to you, and then you'll have to obviously serve that on the parties.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Can your order
All right.
say any, Your Honor, can you add on your order any Michigan representatives of him acting on his behalf for Michigan properties as well as part of that order? Or does your order cover everything?
You provided the order, so I'm going off.
Yes,
the
I did.
order.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I'm going off the order you provided to me, and I've signed
Okay,
that order
that's-
already.
That's what I
Okay.
needed. Thank you. All right,
All
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Cardello Smith, and we'll make sure the writ's done, and we'll see you back in September. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
Instead of herd of cats. I love that.
She's heavy-footed. I always know when she's coming around the corner.
Oh my gosh. So y'all, I want to read Zen Soul's comment because it's complicated because y'all know that I said that's the wall to hire him. Well, she says, yeah. Bingo, Nesto, this is how you get your facts together. Dat part. Ain't that the truth? So now we are all done with that. I thought we should get a look at that and see what's going on in here. This impressive man talk. Now we are going to go over and look at a romance scammer who is about to land herself in jail. And I was also trying, now her I couldn't find, but I was really trying to find out, had her case been adjudicated yet. And I'm sure it has, I just couldn't find it. But I'm still going to look some more. So we are going to, we're going to get into that.
I don't want to spend 11 years in prison. I would die there. I wouldn't be able to make it.
Hi, guys. My name is Matthew, and out of desperation, I am reaching out to the teams at Social Catfish. My sister has recently been the victim of a romance scam. She's recently been arrested as being part of this whole scam.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish, sponsored by SocialCatfish.com.
Before we get into that, Worldwide Collaborations has said, damn, this dude is good. He was impressive. I want to hire him, and I'm not even having any legal problems.
They're not going well for me. I'm scared to death. I mean, it's a felony charge of theft of $26,000. It's 11 years in prison plus a fine.
If you have any insights, any guidance or direction that you can provide us, like I say, we're desperate.
Today's episode is different. Join us as we delve into the story of Janine, who fell in love with a man named Rick, who she met on Facebook. However, their love story has taken a troubling twist after Janine allegedly received a $26,000 wire transfer from Rick that would help the two connect in person. Janine is now facing a 10-year prison sentence. This situation highlights the harsh consequences that can follow in the wake of a romance scam. Join us as we explore ways to support Janine and shed light on this dark aftermath of deceptive love. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
I'm from a very small town in Michigan called Grand Haven. I have 6 children and 11 grandchildren. I haven't had...
I'm not paying anybody to visit me. That's just all there is to it. If you can't get here, there's no, I'll pay you back when I get there, or I'm not giving you spending money when you get here. None of that. If you can't get here to see me, then we're not meant to see each other.
A relationship since my divorce in 1994. So I've been alone and raising my children and working all that time. And my ex-husband decided he wanted a younger woman. So he ended up marrying a friend of mine, and they were married for over 20 years, I think. It's been very difficult. I didn't date online at all before I met this man. All of a sudden, he was just there talking to me. It was maybe every couple of days, and then it turned out to be more like every day. And well, his name is Rick Alexander. He has a great smile. He has beautiful eyes. He's got mostly gray hair. I guess some people would call it salt and pepper. He has a mustache, and at times he's had a beard. Usually just jeans and a t-shirt type of thing, or a polo shirt.
Now, my perspective on this relationship is from the beginning, it's been a scam.
Well, he just told me that he was in Iraq rebuilding the roads after the war. His wife died several years ago. He doesn't have any children, he said. He was always very
if you ever go on these dating websites, or you meet somebody on Facebook or whatever, if they are a doctor or overseas working doing anything, then you already should have your red flags going up. Take the blinders off, because that seems to be their thing. They're either overseas, they're in the military, those kinds of stories where there's like no access.
Respectful when he spoke with me. Didn't swear. He didn't belittle me or call me dumb or stupid or anything like that. He was all.
And I'm gonna tell you something else too. I literally watched this episode 3 times, because at first I thought I missed something, and the second time I was like, I didn't miss anything, and then the third time I really wanted to make sure I was absorbing what you'll see.
Always, very respectful. Just things like that. He just made me feel good. He would say my love. I once told him I really liked it when he called me that. We had what I call an easy relationship. I mean, it was easy to talk to him.
In the beginning, Rick came off as the perfect guy. He claimed he was trying to leave Iraq soon so they could finally meet in person, but he would need her help.
He was set to come home last winter, and there was a big snowstorm in Turkey, and all of the flights were canceled. He's tried to come home a couple of times, and for one reason or another, he hasn't. And there have been times he's told me it's dangerous for him to be there. I didn't want a long distance relationship. I wanted someone that was going to be here and be part of my life. So a couple of times I have said, look, I'm done. I don't want a long distance relationship. I want somebody that's here, that is going to be part of my life, and this is it. I'm not talking anymore. He just wants to, according to Rick, he just wants to be together. He told me he loved me.
The relationship took a turn when Rick began to ask Janine for money to get home.
The first time he asked me for money was he needed money so he could buy a phone card type thing so he could call me. I sent him an Apple card. Of course, he said, thank you.
Now, I'm not saying that this is true, but it seems to me, if, say, you are working overseas, non-military, just under contract, it seems to me like the company would get you home. And if you don't have it set up that way so that the company gets you home, because those men who go over there to do that, build roads and stuff like that, they make decent money. And, I would even go to the embassy, the U.S. embassy or something, before I start asking strangers that I meet on the internet for money to help me get home.
And he used it to call me. The second time he asked me for money was in order to try to pay for a ticket to come home. He knew I was on Social Security and that I only got paid once a month. So, I couldn't always send a lot of money, and it was never enough for a ticket. Anywhere from 100 to maybe 400 or 500 at a time. The government said that they had him on a list and they were going to get him a ticket, but then they told him he needed to have so much cash in hand, so when he got on the plane and got to America, he would have money.
That story I'm sorry, that just doesn't even sound right. So the government, they're going to send you home, but they got you on a waiting list. But you have to have money to spend once you get there. I don't understand that either. Once I'm home, how are you going to tell me what I need, especially if I'm going back home to stay? That makes no sense. Let me see. Worldwide Collaboration said, right, there are some very lonely people in this world, and most of them seem to be in America. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe 1 month I'd send him $200 or $300, and then the next month I'd send him some more, so that he would have the money that they required of him. I may have sent him over the 2-year period, maybe $6,000 or $7,000 of my own money.
Little did Janine know what Rick was going to ask her to do would land her in trouble with the law.
At one point, he sent me $26,000. And he said that was to help me pay the bills that I had because I sent him money. And he asked me to, use some of it.
I mean, this lady is living off of Social Security. Black Eagle, the awesome, how are you doing? She's calling somebody a uppity a-hole. I'm assuming that's Diddy.
To pay my bills and then send the rest of it to a person in Turkey. And that person in Turkey would get them tickets to come home.
She was pulled over by a state trooper for having, I think it was a broken tail light. And he ran her plates, ran her ID, and found out there was a warrant for her arrest. She knew nothing about that. Well, immediately they arrested her, impounded her car. They extradited her from Michigan to Maryland, where she remained incarcerated for several weeks and then was extradited back to Michigan.
Someone had given me $26,000 to pay for airplane parts to send to Maryland to this woman. I've never talked to a woman about airplane parts. I don't know anything about airplane parts. So she has filed charges against me for stealing this money from her. And I don't know who she is. It's no one I've ever talked to. But she said that I took the money that she sent me and didn't send her the airplane parts. I didn't receive any money from her. It came from Rick. I didn't keep a dime of it. I sent it all to Turkey.
She was an unwitting participant in this whole thing. She didn't accept any money. She didn't pocket any money for herself. She was duped into this, but she's looking at real jail time. And again, at her age, in her health condition, she will not do well in prison.
Things are not going well for me. I'm scared to death. I mean, it's a
Black Eagle, the awesome. That wasn't anybody in here, was it? Or is that part of your name? What is it? Type your name, your screen name. Is it Black Eagle, the awesome? Or that uppity a-hole? That's part of anyway. So look, this woman, she sets up an account. He sends her $26,000 because this is supposed to be his come home money. And I guess, and she was supposed to forward it to somebody in Turkey in Turkey. And she did. And this has caused her legal problems.
It's a felony charge of theft of $26,000. It's 11 years in prison plus a fine. I don't want to spend 11 years in prison. I would die there. I wouldn't be able to make it. So I'm scared to death. It makes me sick to my stomach every time I think about it.
I don't want to see my sister spend the last few years of her life in prison. And, if she goes to prison, she's not going to last long given her condition.
And it's ruined my life. I mean, my children aren't speaking to me because of it. And, it's a very difficult thing.
After receiving Matthew's email about his sister being in trouble, we hopped on a video call with her to get an idea of what we could help her with. After facing jail time, we thought for sure she knew that this Rick guy was scamming her.
Hop on with you because your brother reached out to us and just kind of see where your head's at as far as this guy you've met online. I know you've been through so much and I want to hear more and just see where we can take this.
Okay.
Do you still believe you're talking to the real man?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm hoping so, but I don't really know.
What makes you feel like you could be talking to him?
He just makes me feel good. He tells me he loves me. He seems to want to take care of me.
Do you love him?
I hate to admit it, but yes, I do. We've been talking for almost 2 years, so, there's a lot of water under the bridge.
After everything you've been through, though, right? You still want to hold on to this guy?
Well, kind of, yeah. Right now, he's saying that he's coming home. I don't know if he actually will, but that's what he tells me. And he tells me that he loves me and that he'll take care of me and that everything's going to be all right. And I want to believe him. I really do.
Now, can you tell me what exactly is he saying about the arrest and your charges?
He's saying that what they're saying is that he had nothing to do with it. But he is saying that he'll be home to go to Maryland with me and get me out of it.
Janine's brother Matthew originally reached out to us. He had no idea she was still communicating with Rick. We then hopped on a call with him to let him know. We spoke.
Okay, Black Eagle, I get it now. Zen Soul, it's sad. Her children aren't speaking to her. She's not seeing her grandchildren. And, she was using her social security to do this. Salty Buzzard said, I lost that comment. She said, I just cannot understand the level of gullibility in so dang many people. How does it happen? I don't know. That's why this fascinates me, because I don't understand how it happens either. And she's really still kind of halfway sort of believing that he's real.
Spoke to your sister. Not only is she still communicating with him, but she also believes that he's real.
It's a little insane.
We need to act fast as possible.
Absolutely.
We'll send a list of things that we're going to need, and then, we can start looking into this ASAP.
Fantastic. Again, I appreciate you both so much, the whole team.
We had Matthew pull as much information as we could from Janine. Then we started to look into things. We needed to prove to her that this guy was a complete scam. But as we researched, Janine disappeared. She wasn't answering our phone calls, emails, or texts. Even Matthew tried to reach out to her, and he couldn't get a hold of her. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We appreciate you so much. We waited a week and didn't hear anything back from Janine. We decided to contact Matthew and try to catch up and figure out what was going on. We've been trying to contact Janine for a while now, and she's just not getting back in touch with us.
Likewise, I've reached out to her on a number of occasions. I did get a cryptic message from her yesterday, but that's the first one I've received in a week. But I apologize that it's been so difficult.
She sent you a cryptic message. What do you mean? Like, how so?
Well, she mentioned that she's in the shelter, and then she sent me another message that she misses the cops. I don't know what she meant by that. That's what concerned me, that maybe she was in jail again, has not been checking her email or her messenger, and wasn't aware that we had an appointment scheduled for last week. And I'm frustrated by the whole thing. There are a bunch of people who are trying to help her, and she just.
I personally think says she just doesn't want to hear it.
Doesn't seem to want to help herself.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in. Do you think maybe you'd be able to give her a call?
Absolutely. Sure.
Do you think she would answer?
I can certainly give her a try. Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah, let's give her a call.
Sorry, no luck.
That's okay. I really appreciate you trying.
We actually have some information we wanted to go over with her. What we can do is we can attach a report, send it to you, and then maybe you can go over these things with her. I mean, let's just get into the searches we ran, right?
I want to start off with the passport, and I'm also curious, do you know the story behind the reason why Rick would send this to her?
My understanding is that she was going to book tickets for him, and so she needed his passport to do that.
Got it. Okay. So we found an exact match.
Wait a minute before they tell y'all about this fake passport. Black Eagle, the awesome Gordon Parks, the photographer. Is that your grandfather?
For this passport. This image matches the sample passport. We found it on a Polish passport website that sells these passports. It's a questionable website, but everything in the image matches 100%. The numbers, everything matches. The only thing that is different or has been changed is the image and the name. The next thing we want to look at is, the image of Rick. We found several profiles on social media with different names, same image, and we finally found his identity, and his real name is Carlos. And he's a blogger, he's a social media content creator. Something else that we had found was that he does indeed have a boyfriend. So he is currently in a relationship.
Okay. Very interesting.
And we found many fake profiles of him all over the internet. He's a known face when it comes to romance scams. Usually when you find a guy that's been used once, he's been used 30 to 100 to sometimes thousands of times. So your sister is not the only person being scammed by his fake profiles. He's just a regular guy with a normal life. He lives overseas, and he just happens to be a good-looking, handsome guy that's used in scams.
Well, again, I'm not surprised, but it is comforting, I guess, to know the truth. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate the efforts that you guys have put in, for this.
It was our pleasure. We want to help you out any way we can, as well as Janine. Obviously this is ongoing. So if she decides to reach out, or she has some other information she would like to share, we're here for her.
Well, thank you for saying that. I hoped you would feel that way. She's calling. Should I put her on?
Absolutely.
Janine?
Listen to her.
Hi. I'm on a call with Drew and Bree. We're just Drew and Bree from Social Catfish. We're just going over some of the information they found.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting stuff. I'm sorry?
I'm at a shelter and I have to take a shower at 8 o'clock. Could you call me back when you hear the information to tell me?
Yes, I can.
She says she can't talk because she's living in a shelter. Isn't that just... But I don't know how shelters work where she's at, but here where I'm at, when you are in a shelter, first of all, they make you get out. They make you leave. Like during the day, they don't allow you to just kind of hang out. You have to leave, and you can when you can either come back at a certain time, or of course by curfew time. But I'm not understanding what her being in a shelter has to do with her being able to talk on a cell phone. She can't go outside. She can't go to the bathroom. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It's the weather is nice. The sun's out. So I don't understand why she can't talk outside on her phone.
They would love to be able to speak with you. Last week, they tried a number of times to reach you through email and I guess other means. Is there any way that you're in the shelter and that makes it difficult for you?
Yes, I get to try to see.
Okay. Are you able to leave the shelter during the day, and are you able to go somewhere where you could speak with them? Yeah. Well, even on a park bench or someplace, Yeah. So, well, they're more than happy to re-engage. Again, they found some really interesting information. It's limited because they weren't able to get more information from you, which they hope to do last week. Again, if you can make the time to speak with them, they're more than happy.
I'm sorry. Zen Soul. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, I told you I had to watch this 3 times because there were things that just weren't sinking in. And I believe that I know she's from Michigan. She got arrested. She got extradited to Maryland. And then she got extradited back to Michigan. The only thing that I can think of is that she was probably extradited back to Maryland again, and that's why she's in the shelter, because she's not from there. She doesn't know anybody there. That's the only thing that I could think of.
To pursue this thing and gather additional information.
Okay, well, why don't you call me back about 8:30 my time, well, 8:30 your time too, I guess. And let me know what they had to say.
Perfect, perfect. I really think that would be beneficial for you. So, okay, very good. All right, well, I'll follow up with you.
All right.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Hello.
Hi, Janine. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Okay. I don't know if you can see the screen because it's really faint, but it says Janine has come to the realization that the man she believed she was communicating with in the images is not Rick. Despite this awareness, she continues to struggle with accepting this truth. Her trial is scheduled for October. Let me take off this closed caption. It is, yeah, October. That's all it says. Okay. So I just wanted to read that because it's just very faint. Now I will let you all listen to what they have to tell her.
It's Bree.
How are you?
Good. Good. I'm hanging in there. I sent over your in-depth report to your email.
Okay. Have you found anything out? Anything good?
I mean, we found the real man in the images. You were lied to.
Okay.
And his story is not real.
Okay. Well, right now my life is so up in the air. I'm homeless right now. I'm living in a shelter. So, I don't even know which way is up right now.
I'm sorry. Hang in there.
I'm trying. I really am. So thank you so much for all your help.
Absolutely. Let us know if you need anything.
I will. Thank you so much, Bree. You have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, all
Okay. Yeah, that's sad, and I feel bad for her, but at the same time, it's like this one. She wasn't even in a position to send this man money. Here is my favorite nurse, RN Sanders. How are you doing? So, well, I mean, Zen Soul. Here's the thing. It's the same, I think, situation in Nestor's case. The CP is on the computer. You can't say what me. It doesn't work like that. And I think in this lady's situation, I don't think it would work. I mean, she willingly took this money, put it in an account, and sent it overseas. That money was stolen from another woman. And it sounds good to tell this story. Say she's telling the story in court. It sounds good to say it, but who are you going to believe? Her? Or this imaginary person that they can't even produce? So I'm not so sure that would even help or be beneficial to her in court, really. So, I mean, I do feel bad for her. I really do. But I don't think that this would help. But I'm going to look her. I'm going to see if I can find her case as well. I don't know if we are going to get. I think I'll pass on Wade Wilson tonight, only because I started getting a migraine, and I know it's making me lose my train of thought and stutter and stuff, and I don't want to be on here doing that. So I think I'm probably going to just call it a night, but I appreciate all of you who were here, all of you in the chat and in the clouds, as well as in the bushes. I really appreciate you being here. See, look at me. I can't even get the words out. And I know y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but y'all were right here with me, and I truly appreciate it. But we are going to go on ahead, and the DJ is going to, I guess this is the right thing I'm pushing. I don't know. Oh, I got it. The DJ is going to drop the beat. Apparently, I didn't put up the right thing because what I want to happen is not happening. So yeah, let's just let the DJ drop the beat so I can take my behind to bed because it's just not working. I'm sorry, y'all. But y'all have your Deborah C. How are you doing? But y'all have yourselves a good night. I will be on tomorrow. We will do Wade tomorrow and probably some what do you call those things? You know, when the police stop, body cam foot. That's it, body. See, I'm telling y'all. That's why I'm getting off of here. We will do Wade tomorrow as well as some body cam. I'll probably come on at around 10 or 10:30. But we're going to have the DJ to drop the beat and get on out of here.
Yeah.